Welcome. Let's just take a seat to begin class. You can begin with your legs crossed. If you would like to sit up on something a little more, feel free to do that. Otherwise, just sit right down on the earth and we'll get started together. Excuse me for 1 second. So just allow yourself to land here into your practice, into this moment. We're going to focus a lot with the breath today as a way to really open up our meridians of the lungs and the large intestine, which deal with this time of year that we're in, which is the fall or the autumn. And really opening them up helps us to deal with the emotion of grief or longing. And I've just noticed in my practice lately, because I practice shiatsu, so many people dealing with grief right now. So this is a practice that will hopefully help us to let our lungs expand so that we can welcome the grief in rather than try to push it away, so that we can open our hearts more and, give the things that need grieving attention so they don't get stuck in us. And we can be inspired by what's happening out there in nature. The fall is the time that nature lets go. Nature lets go of the bounty that has developed in the summer. It lets go of the leaves. It lets go of anything left hanging on the vines and begins to take its energy inward again. And that's what we're called to do in the fall. So let's just begin here. We'll take our hands to our heart center and just close your eyes and land, and maybe take a couple of breaths into this moment. And then we're going to do some nice big sweeping breaths where we're going to inhale and we're going to sweep our arms out and up, gathering beautiful air, and exhaling down, connecting to the heart. Let's do 3 more of those. Two more. Big breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. In through the nose and out through the nose. Good. And then we're just going to take this arm across the body to give it a little stretch. Try to drop the shoulder down and feel like the collarbones are spreading out against the stretch. Chest stays nice and forward. Stretching this deltoid. The large intestine meridian kind of runs right through the deltoid. So stretching that out and releasing it, and then taking the other one across. And just stretching this deltoid across as well. And releasing it. Next, we're going to work on the 3-part breath, but we're going to do it lying down. I just want to explain first so that you know what I'm talking about when you're lying down. So when we're doing Viloma 1, or the 3-part breath, as we inhale, first we're going to inhale to the lower belly down here. So it's going to be one continuous stream, but first your lower belly will expand. Then the ribs here, this middle section, will expand outward. And you'll continue sipping the breath in, and the breath will come all the way up into this upper lungs. And then you'll exhale slow and steady out. So what will happen is we'll inhale and our belly will blossom, inhale more and the ribs will expand, inhale even more and the chest will rise, pause, and then a full steady exhalation. So we're going to do that through several cycles, lying down. So if you can take one of your mats or your mat and just roll it up tight to begin with. So just make it into a nice little roll, so that we can lie over it and let our chest lie right over it. That will be awesome. So Yep, once you have it rolled up, we're just gonna lie right down so that our shoulder blades are gonna go right over it. So get your shoulder blades right over it, lengthen the back of your neck nice and long. So once you're settling here, you might need a little blankie under your head to make it more comfortable, or you can just really take time to lengthen the back of the neck. And let your chin come into your sternal notch there. So find that right place where the chin can gently tuck just a little bit down toward the sternal notch. Let your arms come out to the side. The bottoms of your arms should be at the top of the rolled mat. And you can keep your knees bent and just let them fall together like so. And then just let your chest begin to open here, come into presence, come into your body. Let your brain begin to just soften and relax. And we'll begin with the 3-part breath. So first, exhale completely through your mouth. Just get rid of all air. Sealing the lips, begin to inhale through the nose. First, your belly will expand. Then your ribs will expand and widen. And then the breath will come all the way up to the collarbones, top of the lungs. Holding it for a moment and then exhale completely. Inhale, belly blossoms. Ribs expand. Chest rises. Exhale, slow and steady all the way down. And if you feel like you need to take a recovery normal breath between doing these breaths, that's completely fine. If you want to weave 2 or 3 together, you can do that, but really listening to your body and paying attention and just continuing with this pattern of breath. We're going to do several breaths, just allowing the lower belly to first fill, middle ribs, chest rises, and then a full steady exhalation. Allowing both the inhalation and exhalation to be through the nose and of equal length if you can. So as you're going from belly to ribs to chest, you're not really pausing at each, you're just moving your awareness from one part to the next, filling it with breath as you go. And then emptying from top to bottom like a glass of water being emptied. Continuing with this breath, remembering you can always take a natural, normal cycle of breath or 2 in between if you get any anxiety or anything come up. And then just returning to the 3-part breath when you're ready.
Really expanding with the inhalation and letting go with the exhalation. And doing one more cycle of this breath from beginning to end, nice and slow and deep. And at the bottom of that cycle, just allow the breath to return to normal on its own and just notice the natural rhythm of your breath. Notice if it's any different than when we began, from having taken these beautiful deep pranayama breaths. Good, and then keeping your feet as wide as your mat, let's just drop the knees off to the right for a moment. This is kind of opening up through the hips and through the SI joint, which can help to stimulate the large intestine and our ability to let go. So as you inhale, bring the knees up to center, and as you exhale, drop them off to the other side. And just linger if you feel any tightness, maybe breathing into the tightness. But let the inhalations bring your legs up and the exhalations bring your legs down. And if you want to stay in for a moment, breathing into any tightness, feel free to do that. And then continuing, inhaling up and exhaling down. Just opening up here a little bit more. You can do that at your own pace, with your own breath. And then inhaling up, on the exhale, we're just gonna roll over and we're gonna move the mat out from under the shoulders and just come flat on the back again with the knees bent. And let's just take our arms up toward the ceiling, let your palms face each other, and then get hold of your elbows, inhale them up and exhale them over the crown of your head. And just let the shoulders open up here a little bit. Good, and then taking an exhalation, you can bring the arms down to the sides again. And we're gonna inhale them up again. This time, let the opposite elbow cross on top. Inhale up, exhale over the crown of the head. And this time we're gonna lengthen one leg and then the other. And kind of use the elbows lifting up a little bit to lift the chest up, but reach down through the feet. Feel the back body reaching down toward the feet and the front body lifting up toward the arms. Good, and then a big breath in. On the exhale, let the arms come out to the sides again, and then just take the knees up toward the chest. Just squeeze them in and just rock from side to side. Maybe massaging the lower back right above the SI joint, where it's also very related to letting go, to the large intestine. Really committing to the breath for your practice here, committing to the depth of the breath. And then taking a deep breath in on the exhale, we're just gonna roll over to the side. And we're just gonna softly come up. Good. And we're just gonna come and we're gonna take a nice little cat-cow for a moment. We're gonna inhale, lifting the chin, the chest, the tail, and exhale, carving it under. And just do a few of those with breath, really warming up your spine. Good, and then inhaling into neutral tabletop position, curl your toes under, and exhale, downward facing dog. See that your hips are as high as they can be. Reach down through the heels. Press into your knuckles as if you're sort of pressing the mat forward, but pressing your heart toward your thighs, and thinking about the tops of your thighs moving up and back to make yourself a little more like a V. And breathe into this. When you're ready, look up between the hands and then slowly walk forward until your feet land beneath your knees. And just let yourself hang there for a minute. The knees can be slightly bent, the neck is soft and fluid and free. Maybe you'll clasp your elbows and let them be like a weight. No locking the knees here. Just let your shoulders drape and dangle, your arms dangle so that the shoulders just relax into the arms. And then when you're ready, you're going to press into your feet, release your arms, and inhale and sweep the arms out and up like we did in the beginning of class, all the way out and up. Gathering the palms together and exhaling the hands back to your heart. Good. Awesome. So from here, we're going to come into Tadasana, mountain pose. So feet are either together or slightly apart. Lift your toes, spread them out, and lengthen your toes forward and your heels back, and just ground into this moment as much as you can. There's a lift up through your inner ankles, a lift up through your kneecaps, hip points, chest, crown. And just feeling the back body descend downward. Make a little space between your armpits here if you can. And then feel the external rotation of your arms, roll them out. And once they're totally rolled out, let's inhale them up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. And reach down through the feet, but lift up to heaven here as much as you can. Big breath in, and then exhale the arms down and out. And then interlacing the fingers in front of you, press your palms out and inhale them up. Bend them slightly, bringing them back by your ears. Big breath in and exhale, press up again. Root down, rise up. Deep breath in, and then exhale. The arms down by the sides. Good. Arms out to the side, roll the palms open. Again, as much as you can, inhale the arms up. This time take like a steeple grip with your hands. They're kind of like this. The index fingers are pointing and the hands are clasped. Root down through the feet, take a deep breath in. On the exhale, go up and over to the left. Nice little half moon stretch here. Heart rolls up, chin rolls up a little. Inhale to the center, exhale, go the other way. Beautiful. Inhale up. Exhale, release the arms out, down and back. Inhale the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale them down and back. A couple more times. And again. Good. All right. And then we're going to make an L with our index fingers and thumbs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, press your L outward, slightly downward, and slightly backwards until you feel the energy opening up into the index finger and thumb. So again, you're softening the tops of your shoulders. You're pressing out, down, and back ever so slightly. And just breathing, getting that breath right into the full capacity of your lungs. Good. And then just releasing that when you're ready.
Awesome. Next, we're going to work on the Makahoe Meridian exercise stretch. First, let's just take a soft fist. Put your arm in anatomical position with the palm facing forward and just tapping. We're going to tap up here in the upper pec area where lung begins. Just opening up and maybe even tapping all along the upper lung lobes here. Good. And then you're going to let yourself come down the lateral aspect of the arm, the front of the arm and the forearm, maybe up to, and just tapping. So you're really on this lateral aspect of the arm. Yeah, all the way down. And then turning that over, you're tapping up the yang surface here, up to the front of the shoulder. This is large intestine and lung. Good. Maybe squeeze. So you're squeezing this outside of the arm, lung and large intestine, just giving it a squeeze. All the way down into the thenar eminence by the thumb. Good. And then the second side, we're going to tap all over this upper area here. Ooh, opening this up. Breathing, big breaths. Woo, woo, woo. Don't be afraid to give it a good tap. It actually feels really good, and it's good to fight colds and flus and COVIDs. And so then again, you're going down this lateral aspect, tapping, and back up, and then turning it over, going down, and up. Good. And then we're just going to tap this kidney point here, kidney 27, which is also going to help with our immunity and our breath. Good. Good. And then we'll just do some kidney taps. And we're at it to anchor the chi of the lungs. Kidneys actually anchor the chi of the lungs. So when we take good, deep breaths, the kidneys can help store that energy for when we need it. So when we're doing our yoga practice and focusing on our breath from beginning to end, we're building our reserves. We're building our reserves of energy for when we need it the most. So taking this time to really restore ourselves, because we need it in this world. We get so crazy sometimes, doing so much, so many things. Yeah, so have fun swinging, just swing. Sometimes we just need to swing and breathe. And bringing that into stillness, we're going to move into the Makahoe. So I'm going to show you close up the hand clasp because it's a very valuable. So what you do is you tuck the pinkies, tuck the ring fingers, and your thumbs and your middle fingers clasp around each other, like, and make a firm clasp that can't come apart. And then these index fingers point straight up. So it's the thumbs and the middle fingers that form a clasp, and the index fingers go straight up. We're going to be doing this behind our back. If for some reason you can't hold this clasp, you can always just clasp the thumbs and point the index fingers like that. That works too, but this one is very strong. So try to get that. So clasping behind your back, pointing those index fingers. You want to stand with your feet hip width apart, knees a little bent. We're going to inhale and we're going to roll the shoulders down the back, lifting the chest, filling with air. And then you're going to exhale. You're going to come forward with a long, straight spine. Let your knees bend. And you're going to work at bringing these index fingers up to the ceiling. You're going to release your neck. And breathe into the lungs. Really breathe into the rib cage and see that you're expanding your ribs with your in-breath and letting go with your out-breath. And when you're ready, you're going to press into the feet. You're going to inhale up with a long, straight spine all the way into a baby back bend, up and back. And then you're gonna exhale and you're slowly gonna release the hands into Tadasana. And let go. And so whatever fingers you had on top the first time, you're gonna switch the clasp behind your back, and we're gonna do it one more time. So we're gonna inhale and we're gonna roll the shoulders down in the back, pointing those index fingers. Exhale, long straight spine, knees bend. And index fingers up. Release the neck and commence deep, beautiful breaths. Good, and when you're ready, press into the feet, inhale up, long straight spine. And exhale, release. Coming into Tadasana. Letting yourself feel the openness that you created in your lungs through the stretch. And then releasing. Good. Next, we're gonna step into bringing our legs apart. And from here, try to widen it a little bit if you can. Nice little wide stance. We're gonna clasp behind the back again, make that little clasp that we just learned. We're gonna inhale and we're gonna roll the shoulders down the back and grounding through the outside edges of our feet. We're gonna start forward with a long straight spine. We're gonna keep coming forward. We're gonna drop the head and we're gonna bring the arms up again. And just breathe here. Really ground to the outer edges of your feet. Really breathe into the lungs. Release the neck completely. Good, and when you're ready, press into the feet. Inhale up with a nice long straight spine. And exhale, release. And then stepping the feet together. Good. All right, from here, we're going to come with our feet together, and we're going to take a big step back with the left foot. So nice big step back. Once you plant that foot, so maybe 3 feet apart or so, you're gonna roll that back hip forward, trying to ground through the outside edge of that back foot. Roll the chest forward a little bit. Press down into the big toe mound of that front foot. Lift your chest up here as much as you can. And then whatever way you clasped last time, you're going to take the opposite clasp, same clasp we've been working with. We're going to inhale and we're going to roll our shoulders down the back, come into a little back bend, come strongly into your feet. On the exhale, rolling that back hip forward a little and rolling that front hip back. Come forward with a long straight spine. Be in your feet. Take your outer hips in toward each other. Pause at 90. Deep breath in. And the exhale, come all the way forward and down if you can. And see if you can relax your neck and lift up through the arms any amount. Pressing into the feet. Inhale up with a long straight spine. And then exhale, let's release the arms. Keep that leg bent, for the leg forward. Hands to the hips for a minute and just bend. So we're gonna bend into warrior one. So you should be able to see your big toe, but not your little toes. Roll your back hip forward and your front hip back. Come into the feet. Interlace your hands out in front of you, press the palms in, and bring the arms up by the ears. Good, and then bend that front leg even more. Ground through the back edge of the back foot and go up and back. Soften the tops of your shoulders if you can. Deep breath in. And then exhale, step forward, release the arms and roll the shoulders out. Second side, big step back. This time with the right. Ground through the outer edge of that back foot. The foot should be at like 60 degrees forward and roll the hip forward. Front leg is straight. You're grounding through the big toe mound and drawing back through this hip. And then this time we're back to the customary clasp for the hands behind the back. Inhale, roll the shoulders down the back. Exhale, start forward, long straight spine, strong in both feet. Pausing at 90, finding your legs, being grounded. Let that spine lengthen down over that front leg. Once you've gone as far as you can, let the neck soften and bring the arms up. Bring those index fingers up if you can. Breathe. Pressing into the feet, inhale and come up. All the way up into a baby back bend. Exhale, release the arms. This time we're going to bring the arms out to the side, roll the palms open, inhale up to a steeple grip, and exhale, bend that front knee to warrior one. So bending so that you can see the big toe but not the little toes, up and back. Lift up through the index fingers. Take yourself up and back, bending into the front leg, grounding through the back. Deep breath in, head comes back up to center, step forward, and release the arms. And roll the shoulders out. Good. So from here, we're just going to come down. Let's come down through a squat because that's actually so good for the large intestine. So you can widen the feet a little bit and just start to come down. And see if you can drop the tail and just settle down into a little squat here. You can always lift the heels up if this is a challenge, onto a blanket or a rolled up mat or something. If it's a challenge on the knees, you could always just hug the knees into the chest again, because that's a way to do it without hurting the knees. But just take a couple breaths here. Good. And then when you're ready, we're just going to release the butt down. And we're just going to come into a forward fold. So legs out straight. Inhale the arms out and up. Big breath. Exhale, reach for the toes. You might get them at this point because we've opened a little bit, or you might get the ankles or shins. But inhale. And as you inhale, grow longer, and as you exhale, gently pull yourself forward and let your nervous system just soften and open and relax. And then inhaling to come up. And then we're going to slowly lower ourselves down, kind of working with our core a little bit. So legs are up, but you're just going to slowly curve yourself down. Coming onto your back. And then what we're going to do is bend the knees, hug both knees into the chest. And this time you're just going to keep hold of the right one in toward the chest, extend your left one out, and just rock back and forth for a minute. And massage the ace. Ooh. Yes, the right one, hopefully your right one is in, and you're massaging the ascending colon, the part of the colon that comes up. And then bringing that into stillness, we're going to take the right arm out to the side, and we're going to cross that right leg over the midline, trying to keep the knee above the hip, coming into a landing, and then gently reaching back with the right arm. And just letting the lower back, again, you might get a nice opening through the SI joint here. Let the breath go down into the hips and into the lower burner where the intestines are. Let the expansion of your arms help expand your lungs. And then inhale and take yourself softly back to the center, bending both knees, resetting the spine, knees to chest, massaging the transverse colon by gently bringing the knees back and forth across the belly. And then bringing that into stillness, we're going to keep hold of the left one, extend the right one, and gently move it around to massage the descending colon. And keeping the knee at hip height or above, we're gently going to bring it across with an exhalation.
And then let this left arm continue to open back out, to open the lungs. Big, beautiful breaths. And then inhaling slowly back up to the center. Exhale, release the legs onto the ground for Shavasana. So we'll just let the legs be mat width or slightly wider, arms by the sides, but slightly out, palms open to receive. Gently finding the balance in the neck, just coming right to the center of the skull. And then allowing your head to become heavy, allowing your eyes to become heavy. Let the eyelids close and softly drape over your eyeballs. And allow your eyeballs to look downward toward the heart. And allow your cheeks to hollow inward. And the corners of your mouth to relax. And the inner corners of your eyes and your outer corners of your eyes to soften. Allowing your shoulders to relax into the mat and to just melt down into the arms. And the arms to melt down into the hands. And the fingers to just let go of any grasping, any holding. Let your torso fall back on the earth. Let your hips go. Let your legs relax down to the calves and down to the feet. Just find the surrender of all of your muscles onto the earth. Allowing all of your awareness to deepen inward. And as you are resting there, resting as pure, gentle awareness, I'm going to read a poem from Rumi called The Guest House, which talks about how to deal with sometimes our grief or emotions. The guest house. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them as a door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So gently hugging the knees into the chest, giving yourself a hug, increasing the breath again.
Deep into the belly, deep into your core. And then with the next exhalation, you can just gently roll to the right, onto your right side. Feeling the support beneath you of the earth. And then with an inhalation, you can press up and find a seat, either cross-legged or Virasana. And we'll just come into presence to seal our practice together and just take the hands back to the heart, connecting to that sacred place inside, connecting to your lungs, your heart, your breath, the breath of life that animates you and moves through you and connects you to everything and everyone. And bowing our head with great gratitude. I'm ready to welcome any guest that comes. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me. I'll see you next week, hopefully, for some more yoga with Dags. Namaste.